landscape of Marvel Strike Force has already started to change, and there are more changes afoot. In this video, we are going to go over that and also a brief update for the channel. So if you want to get to know everything about these changes and more, then join me in this video. What's going on, everyone? I'm BPG and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I make at least 2 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week, usually based around the events in the game. Sometimes I get a chance to sprinkle in extra videos just like this one here. So if you find the content in this video helpful, please do consider giving it a like, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any other BPG updates. And whether you're new around here or not, do give a comment down below. I love to speak to each and every single one of you. So on the 3rd of September, Scopely, Marvel Strike Force dropped a blog called The Path to Orcus, and this outlined basically the way we are going to be getting the new members of the Orcus team. Now, a lot of content creators did a video on that. I chose not to. Purely from what I knew. So we had a call yesterday with Ryan Jacobson, which is the general manager of Marvel Strike Force, to go over this blog and to go over a blog that will be coming out sometime later on today, dealing with the character release strategy that they are now going to be putting into place. And so I think we need to go over this a little bit. So what is the TLDR of the Path to Orcus? Well, basically, the TLDR is that the Orcus team is going to be unlocked mostly through the Orcus orbs. So that is the Sentinel Orcus orb, the Nimrod Orcus orb, and the Omega Sentinel Orcus orb. They are playing with this all the time, though, as they have said in the blog. They are actually playing with this all the time. It's not, at the moment, it is 1 guaranteed shard for Sentinel in the Sentinel orb. That might change for the next orb that comes out, whether that's Nimrod or Omega Sentinel, we don't know, but that might change for those ones. But they are constantly playing with this sort of raid to earn Sentinel, Orcus orbs and ciphers. That's another change they've made, is the ciphers. So now the showcase, it's just a one and done story mode. And then you have ciphers to go into the additional content, which is locked behind star rated characters. So the current one is locked behind a 3-star Sentinel. If you then have a 4-star, you get another node that you can do, and a 5-star gets you another node that you can do. But this is the key thing. Raid to earn Sentinel. So play raids to participate in the Tolerance is Extinction Alliance milestone and earn Sentinel Orcus orbs. Now, this is what they are trying to do. This is what Ryan was telling us last night on our call with him. They are trying to align game modes to the teams that they are. So we had the Annihilators release and their orbs were earned through Arena. This time it is being earned mostly through raids. There is that Weekend Warrior Blitz that they've gone on about here, which is going to have more chances for these Sentinel orbs. But mostly they're trying to push this through the raids. And I am quite happy with this as a... not happy with it as a release strategy, but I quite like the idea that we are having to play in the game modes and engage in the game modes that the team is from to get hold of the team. And this was something that Ryan was very, very, very clear about, was that they want to push engagement in the game. They want people to be logging on 2-3 times a day, 7 days a week, and playing this game like that. They really do want that to happen. And what they don't want to happen in regards to this is to have people who are sort of coming into the game, logging in for an unlock event. And this is the one thing that Ryan doesn't like, is the unlock events. Logging in for the unlock event, unlocking the character, logging out again until the next unlock event, logging back in, getting that new that other character. He wants to reward people who are logging in every day, multiple times a day, and engaging with the game. That is really, really good. Now, one thing that isn't in here, and I know everyone will be going, oh no, it's one shard. I've got to open 100 orbs possibly before I'm going to get Sentinel. One thing that Ryan told us last night where new character releases are concerned is that within 30 days of a team coming out, one of the characters within that team will have a extra release method. Now, whether that is a calendar, whether that is a event like we have currently, like the greater purpose event that's currently going on for Gladiator, where we've got Gladiator shards in that event, whether it's a month-long event, it could be any of those things, but that is what they are testing at the moment and playing with at the moment, is that one character from that team will have a release event within 30 days of their initial release. That seems like a good compromise. 30 days might seem like a long time, and it is a long time. And, you know, I can't say anything positive overly about that, but there is a silver lining to this. Now, I don't know how many of you have paid attention to the Gore milestones that are going on at the moment, the Thanos milestones that are going on at the moment, and the Sentinel milestones, which started yesterday, or on the 3rd, sorry. All these milestones, in them, unlike the Gladiator one, which was a pity system, and all of those milestones are what they're currently relating to as pity systems. Those in the Gladiator one, you had a straight set of shards. Now, if you look in the Gore and the Thanos and the Sentinel milestones, you will see that they are giving away orbs for some of the milestones instead of straight shards. Now, those orbs are the 675 power core costing orbs, the ones that are done at initial release. These orbs are going to have to stay in the store for the duration of the milestone, because if not, people aren't going to be able to open them, and they don't want to keep going in and out and in and out, you know, taking the orb away, putting it back in again. That's not what they want to do. Certainly what I get from Ryan, that's not what they want to do. And so those orbs are going to stay in the stores for the duration of the milestone. This means, as a free-to-play player, that you will have a decent amount of time to gain power cores to open some of those orbs to try and get more shards of said character. Now, we have just had an increase in power cores in Arena, a massive uptake and increase of power cores in Arena. So we should be able to do this. Now, I've just mentioned about the milestones being the pity system for the orb. Now, they are consistently working on these pity systems. We spoke about this in the call with Ryan. They are currently looking at other pity systems that they can put into the orbs, so the orbs actually feel a bit better, so that it's not, oh, I've opened 100 orbs and got one shard out of each orb. It's, I've opened 100 orbs and, hey, on my 60th orb, 70th orb, whatever, I hit a decent jackpot. I got a 20 drop, I got a 40 drop or whatever. So they are working on those pity mechanics for those team orbs. So let's try and just stick with the game a bit. Let's try and take a bit of positivity out of this. The long-term release plan. Now, that has not changed. So the short-term release plans have changed, but the long-term release plans are still the same. So within 4 to 6 months, characters will be farmable. That is the same sort of aim that they've given us. That is a promise that they've made us, and that is good. Ryan also mentioned that highly engaged players free to play will still unlock characters in a timely fashion. Now, at the moment, they are testing everything with this. This is a massive, I want to say, stress test on the game almost, as to, you know, finding how things work. But obviously, they don't think that the ways things were working previously were working well enough for the business. And so they've had to make business decisions from this to keep this game going. And Ryan really wants this game to go for a long time. Speaking to him last night, he wants this game going in 5 to 10 years still. And obviously the only way that is going to keep going is with the backing of the community. It felt a bit woolly when we were there, a bit, you know, communication has been a bit, not lap, but communication has been a bit less, you know, it's been a bit more loose. And there is a reason for that. And that is because Scopely and Marvel Strike Force in general, they feel like whenever they say anything, whether it was yesterday or whether it was 5 years ago, that is taken as gospel, and people will bring up screenshots for that, which means that they are not able to be flexible as a business. They are almost being forced down this path of rigidity. And I'm sure I won't get told off for this, but the Spotlight raids, we all went nuts with the Spotlight raids because they didn't communicate or couldn't communicate with us what was happening in the plans for it. And basically what Ryan said to us was that in the past, they had said that there was an 8 to 10 day window for character releases. So every character release would have an 8 to 10 day window between each one. And they put this to, or they put their idea for the Spotlight raid to some of the community. And they were pulled up on this 8 to 10 day window. And that is why the alpha, you know, the Spotlight raid launched how it did. Their original plan for the Spotlight raid was to release the Alpha Flight team in a much shorter time period than they would have normally. However, they had to walk that back because they were met with, you know, things saying, well, you had said it was 8 to 10 days between character releases. I can understand people wanting those 8 to 10 days between character releases. It's a lot of, you know, especially for spenders, it's a lot of money that they are forking forwards. And if those things are expedited, then, you know, that is going to cost people more money, more of their, you know, their disposable income. In this case, it actually hurt us because it meant that we had a raid. They wanted to release a raid and a team pretty quickly, and push through, but because they were stopped from doing that, we had a raid that we could only do half of, and this is the problem. You know, they're not able to be flexible enough because they have to walk things back because of things they've said in the past that are then brought up to haunt them. So this is why they're being a bit more, you know, in my opinion, this is why they are being a bit more loose with their communications with us. They're being a bit more, you know, they're not giving us solid dates. You know, the only solid date that Ryan gave us during this entire meeting was the within 30 days, one character for a new team will have some sort of additional unlock method. We've not got any other like fixed days. You know, he spitballed days with us, but nothing was set in stone there. And you know, I can appreciate why they're doing that now after listening to him. Next thing I want to go over is general content, things like Pocket Dimension, things like Power, etc. According to Ryan, these modes will not be gated. Shattered Dimension was not meant to be gated. It was meant to have Cosmic on the Annihilator loads all the way through. The only content that they are looking at gating are legendaries, and that is for a different matter entirely. And that is mostly because the legendary characters that they do are generally some of the strongest characters in the game. And, you know, they want to have some sort of investment back from the community to get the super duper high powered characters. So where legendaries are concerned, you're always going to be able to do pretty much what you did with Old Man Logan. So you're always going to be able to get a lower starred version of the character. However, to get the big bad boy like the, you know, 7 yellow, 5 red, for example, Old Man Logan, you needed to have the team at 7 yellow. The input teams at 7 yellow, and that obviously, if you're going to do that on the first time around, that is going to require some form of investment, and that will not be changing according to what we were told yesterday. And why are they doing all this? Why are all the changes happening? Well, they are trying to ensure that spenders feel good about their purchases. They are basically, and I can kind of understand this from the point of view now where I've had a good night to look at this, to think about this, and I can kind of understand where they're coming from. If you are someone who is spending £50 every 10 days on this game to unlock a character, how would that feel if within a week or two later, someone who hasn't spent any money at all on this game comes in and gets the 3-star character out of the gate from an event? You've got 100 shards extra, yes, okay, but let's say you bought the 100 shard unlock character for £50. You then get the 100 shards from the event. You're now at a 4-star character. That person who is free to play, who's played that event, is at a 3-star character. The difference between a 3 and 4-star character really isn't that great. And so this is causing players who spend money to feel bad. Now, we're not talking about the Krakens and the Whales. The Krakens and the Whales are always going to do what they've done. They're always going to purchase characters at 7 yellow stars. They're going to have them at 7 red stars. They might even, you know, they're even going to hit the leaderboards in events and stuff like that to get diamonds on them. They are always going to have the tippy top of the, the cream of the crop. But the people who they are trying to appease a bit more now are those mid-level spenders, those people who are buying the characters, and maybe they're buying the battle passes as well at the same time. You know, that sort of spender, that is who they are trying to look after here. And I can kind of understand that because, you know, a number of those spenders, they will make up money in the game. You know, they might go on to be the next whale or the next Kraken. I can really understand it. And, you know, you guys know me very well. I'm a free-to-play player through and through. My expendable income goes on my kids. It goes on my family and my experiences there with them. That's what's important to me. So I don't have any expendable income, so to speak, to go into Marvel Strike Force. So I'm going to, you know, carry on playing how I've been playing. I don't think things are going to change. There were a number of other things that we went through in the call with Ryan Jacobson. One of the things was passes, and one of the things that was said there is that there are no guarantees that the newest teams will go into the passes. Again, they're trying to stay really flexible. Ryan was going on about the fact that they might at some point do another Ares type pass. So they might, you know, have a new character and put that in a pass there. I applaud them for trying all these new things. And I know there is going to be a lot of teething problems with it. Something else that he went on about was the fact that, you know, nothing is going to be set in stone. Everything is going to be subject to change, shall we say. So they are reading the live data constantly and from that making adjustments to the game, the live ops side of the game. One thing that he did say in the meeting, which I brought up and sort of fought back against, we were shown some graphs within the meeting, and on these graphs there were bars for free-to-play players who have unlocked the new characters within the first 7 days, and they were showing that they've had an increase in that happen. No physical numbers, but they are showing that they have had an increase in that happening. My question to Ryan, which he is going to come back to us with some data when he can on this, but my question to him was how much of that is down to free-to-play players using their power cores now more than ever to unlock teams, especially when you consider that the Illuminati were a team that had an epic locked behind them and were needed for the next legendary. You know, they're a next legendary team, plus they had Captain Britain. So how many free-to-play players burnt power cores on Hank, Pym and Shuri to try and get them up to the 5-star level? And same can be said with Annihilators. They are an arena team. You know, people who are free to play and very committed to the game, like myself, they would have done the power core unlocks for characters. And I can see that going forwards, this is going to be the new norm. As free to play, we are going to need to start managing our power cores even more and, you know, unlocking characters with the power cores. So keep up to date with the channel when we go through the build positively, because we're going to be covering power cores in that now as well. Okay, so we've got out all the stuff from the Ryan Jacobson meeting. I want to say one thing. Ryan Jacobson is a really sound chap. He is a massive Marvel guy. I wish we could have showed you the video of the call, but unfortunately there are some topics on there that we can't discuss, so we can't really show you that. But in the call, the guy has got like a shelf behind him just full of like Marvel Lego and Marvel figures and everything. He is a real Marvel fan, and he wants this game to continue, as do I, and as do I want to have this channel continue. And so with that, I need to give you guys a little bit of a channel update. Now, I know there have been a number of people who have wanted content on things like Orcus raids, which I said I would do, and unfortunately I have not delivered with that. And to any of you who I have said that to, I am really sorry that I have not been able to do that. I am trying, you know, I've installed LD Player onto my computer and I am trying to do gameplay videos and stuff like that, but I really do not like doing gameplay videos. I don't feel comfortable doing gameplay videos. What I feel comfortable doing is sitting here talking to you guys on the camera, and going through a lot of the database stuff, because that's what makes me tick about this game. The reason why I picked this game up wasn't just because of Marvel. Marvel is a big part of it, but part of the reason why I picked it up was because I saw it as a resource management game from the day I picked it up. And that meant maths, and I love maths. Anyone who knows me in real life, anyone who's in my alliance, shout out to Jetson Squad Ocblock. You guys all know that I love my maths. That's why I do the event videos every week. That's why I do things like Build Positively, because it is all mathematical based. It makes sense to me. And that is what I want to do. So what is going to be the direction of the channel going forwards? Well, going forwards, I am not going to say that I'm going to do any sort of gameplay videos, because I've just found that I'm not comfortable doing them, so I'm not going to do them, guys, unfortunately. I am, however, going to continue doing content like the Dark Dimension recommendations, and then videos like my Dark Dimension video, which has done really well for me, you know, for my size of channel, and for me, it has had a ton of views, and I thank each and every one of you for that. I am going to continue doing the Friday initial impression videos for the blog and the events ahead, to try and tell you guys what you need to be saving over the weekend to do the best in the events as possible. I'm also going to be doing the event videos every single Monday, or when the main event goes live. I will be doing that video every single time on that day to make sure that we are giving you the best advice possible on how to complete the events. Completely free to play. If you spend, you're obviously going to do better in them, but we are going to complete the events as best as possible, free to play, with all the information that we know. I'm going to be keeping on doing Build Positively. I love that series. I've got another Build Positively nearly in the can now, and recorded, so that should be out in the next few days. The other thing that I really love doing in this game is the infographics. So although I don't like doing gameplay, I do love doing the infographics and helping people with teams. So one thing I'm going to be doing now, some of you might have seen, I have been posting some of the infographics in my community tab for you all. That will continue going forwards, but each infographic going forwards is going to have an associated video with it, going over my reasons for why I've chosen these things, and the infographics are getting updated slightly. So hopefully that is enough content to keep you guys around and to keep you all with me. If it isn't, I'm really sorry. I can't do the gameplay. I just can't do the gameplay at all. Not in front of everyone, not like this. This is one of the reasons why I don't stream. What do you think about the new character release system? And now you've got a little bit more insight into it from the meeting that we have had with Ryan Jacobson. Let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully you all stay around. If you found this video helpful, why not give it a like and share it with your alliance mates? And remember, until next time, everyone, stay positive.